Today is July 15th, 2022. I'm making this video because I wanted to disclose that I don't need anybody's judgments whatsoever on this earth. Not anymore. I've had enough misguided judgments to last me a lifetime. I moved down here to Arkansas to be near my family, and all I ever got was harassment by the authorities. And then when I was placed in front of the judge, a Judge Ohms, I actually thought about him this morning and a message that I needed to relay to him personally. That's why this video is to be called Spare Me Your Judgments, because this man, I gave him all the opportunity to recognize who I was, and he didn't. Instead, he saw me as a lower life form and destroyed my life. He placed me in a restraining order against my husband at the time when my child was ripped out of my arms by the bailiff. So the fact that he allows his officers to mistreat disabled women prior to being classified as disabled, prior to, all I said was okay. There should have been no reason for him to violate my body in that way. But of course, this is all thanks to Judge Ohms, because I placed my faith in his hands, my life in his hands. And I see all these judgments online. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world, that people will inevitably see their own karma. They'll inevitably live through the things that they do to others. So the fact that Judge Ohms destroyed my life because he didn't see me as an individual. Instead, he saw whatever classifications, whatever paperwork was in front of him. He placed me in jail for 2 months and then another month in between in a psychiatric ward. And my mother had no idea when I was going to get out of jail for harassing my ex-husband's communications. So you didn't understand that that's a violation of my constitutional rights, Judge Ohms, and my freedoms of speech, my freedom to speak out against what has happened. So you took these things as threats, and you didn't do enough research on me in particular. So I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you, because I know damn well that we have the same God. We have the same version of God in doing just by others. Yet, I heard that you were friends with my psychologist, which was interesting. I don't go out seeking trouble. I don't go out seeking drama. I don't go out seeking to harass others. But apparently the judicial courts here in Hot Springs do, and those underneath it. So I'll say a prayer for you, probably St. Michael, because there's something demonic here in this town, this city of Hot Springs. And I feel very sorry for you, honestly, because regardless of what you presume, regardless of how highly people view you, you've destroyed lives because you didn't see individuals for what they needed, which was, instead of forcing a restraining order on a married couple with a new child, you should have placed us in counseling. That's what you should have done. But instead, you destroyed my life. You made me look as though I was the violent criminal, because when I came up to your courts as well about the assault on 2 family members, as opposed to turning it around and placing those in cuffs that needed to be placed in cuffs, knowing that you had visual, photos of the assault that had taken place toward me, the violence that had happened to my body, to my temple. You decided that those other people were more deserving of their freedoms. So you placed me in cuffs. You placed me in your system here in Hot Springs. But I don't come from here, do I? I'm not from this trash-ass fucking earth that you have here. I'm not here from this plane in order to get violated anymore. But I think it's hilarious, because the more that gets violated through me, the more it just transitions. It's a cycle. It's how it works, and you know it. So I offer myself freely to God, and I have my whole life. That's why I placed my faith in you. I placed my faith in your judgments, and you've destroyed my life. I have no child. I have no daughter. It's been 6 years. And you presumed that I was the one that was acting out, that I was the one that was ill-mannered and misbehaving. But now, after years, I would hope that you understand who I truly am. After years of seeing me progress and seeing me accomplish things that you've never seen in front of your eyes before, because you've never seen anybody with such determination and willpower and godliness that stems through them. So I woke up and I thought of you, Judge Ohms, and how you destroyed and violated my life, and how I had faith in you and the one God above us, the one that connects all of us, everything, all the religions, everything. So you violated my religious aspect. You violated my constitutional rights. You violated our need for counseling, as opposed to that you offered us jail time, jail time. So I think that that's interesting. I think that it's bias and nepotism in that way, that you decided to help those that were from this town as opposed to someone that was new to this town and had no record following her, had absolutely nothing on her record aside from, I was highly educated in that way, very capable. I could have accomplished a lot, yet I couldn't because of the fact that you stole from me. You stole everything from me. The one thing I had in life, which was my daughter, the one gift from God. And you should have known that, because your children are such a blessing to you and those grandchildren that you have. So I would recommend, and people told me too, they sent me an email and they stated something about my witchcraft. Oh, it's not witchcraft. That's what they used to call it. That's what they used to call intelligent women that knew the words of God and saw the metaphors and symbolisms behind that. You call us witches. I call me slightly a fucking saint, I guess. That's hilarious. But we have false prophets everywhere. False prophets everywhere. Even in there, behind the podium. Behind the podium. What is that? Using the gavel. You know? Those are the false prophets. The ones that destroy others' lives because they want to financially sustain themselves and their families. Those are the ones that are the violations. Those are the ones that are the blasphemous ones. The ones that need to be removed from this earth. I think it's funny. I think that's funny. I understand that there is a balance in life. I understand that. I think it's hilarious that you chose me to try to rip to shreds, and in actuality you look incompetent for having placed those judgments upon me. And the fact that I was ripped away from life for 3 months, 3 years ago, and lost everything, all of my loved ones, all of my home, and there were those that were laughing behind my back, presuming that I was the issue, yet I have not been. Nor was I ever at the beginning. You just didn't see me and who I am. So I woke up with that judgment of my own, and I think that that's hilarious because I'm actually very non-judgmental. I went around with a band that said judgmental on it for quite some time because my judgments stand firm, and they're what a lot of people believe, where you're not supposed to go off and hurt others. You're not supposed to go off and violate our constitutional rights or our individualized rights or our rights to be a human. Yet you stole everything from me, and you presumed that I was just supposed to get it back, win it back with what? The serpent's money? The devil's money? Where was I supposed to gather this money? Where did you presume that I was going to get this money? Did you think that I was healthy and sustained enough? After you ripped away my child, you presumed I could work after that? Just because other trash people have done that in the past? Yet I wasn't a trash mother, and you knew that. You saw that from all the records. You knew exactly that I had taken parenting classes voluntarily prior to giving birth. You saw that I was going here and there to different churches seeking assistance because I knew I was an unmarried mother, an unwed mother. So I went and did that trash for the first child that I had. And then 9 months after I gave birth, I married the man that was the father. And I tried to appropriate myself. We had issues within his family and I. And what did you do? You restrained us from seeing one another at one point instead of offering us family counseling, which would have been beneficial to everyone involved. But instead it got to this point, didn't it? Threats over the internet that you're going to get your karma. Threats. Because I don't even lift a finger and I don't need to. You know what I'm saying, Judge Ohms? So yeah, and I know this is going to piss you off because people are going to notify you and everybody's going to tell you and all this and that, right? But you need to know who you're dealing with. Just because you're a judge, just because you got privileges that the rest of us did not, well, that makes you less than, doesn't it? That makes you less than because you got placed up on a pedestal. You were offered these positions. You were offered these encouragements. You were never pushed down, beaten, stolen from, raped. So I can't wait for the tables to turn and everything happens in due time. I'm a very patient woman. I was born a woman in this lifetime, and it's confusing to me. It really is. And we all understand that because every time I have my menses, I get horrified. So it's been somewhat positive in that sense of being forced into being impregnated. So then I started looking at all these videos too of the people that have slandered me, and I realized, do you realize you're going to get your just rewards? Do you realize that slandering someone and offering misguided and falsified information is going to come back tenfold on you? Did you know everybody's watching you? And not just everybody here, everybody there as well. Everybody there. You don't understand, do you? Most people don't understand. Act right. Learn to repent. Learn to not fuck with other people's lives. Learn to not abuse them and steal from them and rape them and rob them in that way, you know? So every time somebody places a video out there, that's actually child abuse because it's abuse toward my child, my children. You don't understand that, do you? You can't comprehend that. You're that lowly on the, IQ scale. I get that. I understand. That's why you presume that your videos are going to sway others into believing something that doesn't exist, a fabrication in life. I am not here to destroy anybody else, but when it came to my time to recognize that others were destroying me, after years and years of prolonged abuse, years and years of exposure to these other psychological impairments due to all the trauma, I realized, maybe it's time to speak out. Maybe it's time to share my story and to let others know how passive I am and how much I've allowed people to walk all over me. And it's just happened my entire life because those are the words of God. God doesn't have me fighting back physically. It's in a different plane. It's in a different realm. So I think that's hilarious. My mom's cat is over here. He's upset that I'm out here. He wants to be out here too. If I let you out, you will try to run away. He hasn't learned the harness yet. I think that's super funny. He's over here meowing. I'm trying to send a message to the people. I'm trying to send a message to the people that abuse others. The ones that harass them and harass their communications and harass their lives and steal from them and don't offer back. And then they don't try to compensate in any other way either. So instead, they just live their lavish lifestyles and presume that they're not going to get fucked with and karma's not coming back around, or you reap what you sow. So says the words of the Bible as well. So whatever religious aspect you believe in, even if you are atheist, you don't believe in anything but yourself. You understand the rotation, the cycle of life, and how everything comes full turn. Loop. depending on how much energy you are spending and exerting one way or another, everything always comes back around. And that's why I just don't exert too much of my energy. But when I do, I make leaps and bounds, and I can make a lot of adjustments in that way. So I'm not really sure what you think you're dealing with and why you presumed that I was the devil, when in actuality I'd say look in the mirror, Judge Ohms. I would say look in the mirror. All of these spammers and all these individuals online, these trolls that try to bash me in that way, and all I do is laugh. I'm like, you guys are sick. I spent all morning, because I couldn't sleep, reporting those videos. Yet do you think anything's going to happen of that? No. Are they going to manage to destroy my character, defile my character, defamate me? No. Judge Ohms did for a while there. But then now, after all of these years and people recognizing the differences in the criminal records and questioning the sanity of the people who placed these criminal records onto me, these criminal violations, and forced me to jump through hoops that I jumped through just fine, because I didn't want to, cause any problems. I didn't want to send the ripple effect of causing worse toward myself or others involved or my family. So I played along. Jesus Christ, Loki. And I know I swear. We all swear. That's why I was born a Catholic, because I realized that there are always things that are worse off than others. Oh my Jesus, I'm gonna let him out, but if he wanders off, I'm gonna be pissed. My mom's, well, she didn't put any flea drops on him yet. She's gonna get mad if she gets a flea. So I always have to rethink everything before I do it. I think everything over about 3 or 4 times before I actually do it. And that's why I do these things. That's why I act out verbally. That's why I act out in my videos. And I don't act out. We all know I'm exposing the truth. We all know that all I'm doing is sharing my words, and you violated my constitutional rights. You withheld me, you detained me for 3 months, and you put me in a psych ward, and you had them shove me full of shots, presuming I would never get my mind back, presuming that at some point things would end up, it's just interesting, Jesus, low kitty. Here, I'll let you out, but you can't run away. Come on. Come on. Coming? No. So, tell me, was it worth it? Is it going to be worth it when you're lying on your deathbed and you realize how much you've damaged other people? How much you've stolen from them in order to have your luxuries, your lavish, your delicacies, your lavish lifestyle, your cushiony home without any pain or suffering, because you inflicted it upon everyone else. You know that even those people that have stolen from others, they get their karma, they get their just rewards at some point. You know that. If not within their lifetime, within their children's or grandchildren's or so on, their lifetime, your lineage. So I'm trying very hard, since my father was very aggressive and abusive, and somebody said that there's a something about underlying circumstances that I should bring up in court. You should know who the fuck you're dealing with before you're bringing people to court, okay? The fact that I falsified the document, that's on you people. Regardless of what happens to me on this earthly plane, I will be blessed. So even if I end up going to fucking prison over this, I will still be blessed. And that's hilarious, because my entire life all I've been seeking is love, seeking His guidance, the Lord, to lead me everywhere. And yet, when I was placed on these psychiatric medications and didn't understand the words of God anymore because of your tainted systems, that's where everything got confusing for me. Because I thought, well, the doctors are telling me this for my health, that I have to take these pills. And all they did was damage me. So I feel as though I need to pray for you individuals, the trolls, the judges, the officials, everybody. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. You think I care if this child is stolen from me? This child wasn't created out of love. It was created out of sinfulness, out of lustfulness. It was one of the 7 deadly sins. So I don't understand why you don't understand that a woman is going to detach at different forms, at different stages. And also, I am actually 33 weeks. I said 34 last night. I'm 33 weeks along today. Have I seen the Father? No. Do you realize how incorrigible that is? How incompetent you look? What buffoons you are to have not placed efforts into seeking justice for the females. Instead, you decide that your dicks rule, that your shafts are worth more than the clam. So, yeah, I think it's funny. I think you guys are hilarious. I think that these metaphors and everything around us and the symbolism behind everything is funny. The more that I learn, the more that I decipher, the more that I find you all putrid and scum. Although you're placed in these high positions, politicians, government, that you're able to sway others because you're psychopaths. Because you have no emotion toward anything, because that left you years ago after seeing so much turmoil in the world. Instead of actually being there to help others, you decided to steal and rob from them and see how they liked it. We'll see how you like it. We'll see how it ends up for you. We'll see. And that's actually pretty hilarious because, I've tried to explain to the people, the trolls online, you don't know who you're fucking with. And inevitably, I have all of the information to find you and to destroy your life. I don't have to do it personally. It's them. The people that guard people like me, the innocent. Inevitably, I'd like to be one of them, but I don't know how stable you presume I am, or unstable in that way. I mean, my instabilities have nothing to do with harming others, but harming myself because of the shit that I see going on around me and the shit that's been inflicted upon me. And I cuss here and there, but I seek forgiveness. There's a difference. And then there are times too where people are like, you need to appropriate myself. I'm sorry, what? I thought I appropriated myself rather well during the last few years, being tortured as I've been. So, and that's all it was torture. You didn't do anything to try to help me. You tried to tell my mother, yeah, we don't know where she is, and, we don't know where we're going to place her. And since my mother didn't want to deal with me, since she thought I was an issue because you guys thought I was an issue, she didn't want to deal with another troublemaker child. And in the spotlight of the law, because she's done some shady things that she doesn't want to admit to. She's in denial of. So, I don't know. But I don't really do a whole lot of shady anything, and we all know that because I admit to it. I own up to it, and I realize why I did it. Because I've been in therapy since I was young. And also, too, I was forced into whatever therapy sessions my parents had where it was just us communing and our father screaming at us while we sat there and we just took it. That's kind of like how the U.S. government is. Gathering us and screaming at us, enforcing their will upon us, telling us that marijuana is illegal, telling us that abortions are illegal. I'm sorry, what? You want more turmoil in your life, don't you? You want these crazy fucking Bible thumping fucking old ass people reigning over this place until they're fucking chock full of dirt? I'm sorry. That's not gonna be how it ends up, just so you know. And the worse that you act, like the more you play this out in this way, it's hilarious. I see a lot of things going on in the world that I'd like to give an opinion toward, but I don't, because I figure inevitably they'll all get their own karma. They'll all get their own just rewards for having hurt everyone else, for not being giving, for not being unified, because we're all a part of this earth. We all utilize from one another, or utilize each other's resources within some way or another, like some aspect or another, because our ecosystem doesn't allow it not to. Everything that we do is exposed to our neighbor. We are supposed to be there to understand we didn't have the choice of being here on earth, but we do have the choice of violating others in their space. And keeping 6 foot should be part of our rules and regulations, because we need to understand all of the nasty toxins that seep off of our bodies, seep off out of our mouths, out of our orifices. So all of the germs and bacteria and the way that we intermix like that, and people don't even know, they don't have proper health care to know if they're sick. And even if they are sick, they don't want to confine themselves or seclude themselves, because they feel like they should still have an opportunity, such as myself. I mean, even when I ended up finding out that I had HPV from that first guy that I got, dated down here in Arkansas, and I blame that on you people. I do. I blame everything on you. You knew how innocent I was. You knew how vulnerable I was. You knew how shady the people were around me, and instead of warning me, you ended up abusing me more. So I get it. I get that, Things advance slowly but surely, and inevitably we're going to have access to certain type of warning techniques for women on our phones about people. That way we get information about the individuals that we meet online even. Because how was I to know that Jason was now living in Illinois? How was I to know? I don't stalk anyone. I don't go around searching for trouble. But when I was on some psychiatric medications, yeah, I didn't know any different. I didn't know any better, because they heightened my awareness to a point where it was deranged. And I knew that these energies were out there. I knew that these thought processes were out there, but yeah, I just chose to detach. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you that I had a message for you this morning, because I guess it's coming for you. And that's what I tried to explain to people a few years back about my ex-husband. It's coming for you. And I am not the one that is sending it. That's the difference. I'm not the one doing any of these, charms or spells or anything. It's just my energy, because I've been abused so much by these individuals, and they haven't owned up to what they have done or offered any type of compensation so I could live out my life peacefully and properly, and in a solitary manner, because I do not want to deal with the public anymore. The more that I've dealt with them, the more incompetent they seem to be. And it's the same thing with offering my videos online. I feel very sorry for the individuals that try to bash me, that try to slander me, that try to defile my character, because it will come back tenfold on you. And this is not a curse. These are not curses. They are within the Bible even. I don't even understand where I get this information, aside from I was raised really well in that way. I was taught to appropriate myself in both the parochial schools as well as home, because, even washing the dishes last night, I got up and I did it on my own. And then, slowly but surely, people just shove things in the sink. They don't ask. I offered to do these things out of the kindness of my heart. But then when you're demanding of it, when you just presume after a certain point that I'm just going to naturally do it without being asked, then I will stop, because I realize that you're not appreciating me. You don't appreciate shit that I've offered you. Same concept with life. I don't understand it. So instead of me getting praised for the things that I do without being told, I end up getting reprimanded for the very seldom times that I refuse to do these things. That's very sad. I feel remorseful toward the entire circumstance, because even when there are times like, say, my brother will go in there are things that are clearly labeled as mine, and he's been avoidant of that this time. But prior to that, when I stayed here 2 years ago or so, he devoured everything that I would bring into the home, and then they would blame me for speaking up about it. But then my mother, she just always tried to coddle him. She says I don't coddle him. She does coddle him. We have proof. We have proof of that. So he'll get whatever kind of hyped up on whatever, stimulants, whatever type of additives he injects into himself in that way. He doesn't use needles, mind you. I mean injecting and consuming in that way. Get all hyped up, go in there, devour everything in the kitchen, leave the fridge wide open, leave food all over the place, leave the freezer wide open, and then he just says, oh, it's fine. And everybody says it's fine. I wish I could live in a reality like that, where I was just so aggressive and stealing from others, and then everything just, okay, just forget about it. I didn't do it, I don't know what it is about the difference between my sibling and I. I think it's very ironic in that way, especially for namesake, because, my name translates to joy. His is angel. He should act as though he is, trying to uphold something, some type of honor to that name, but instead it's the complete opposite, which is actually kind of funny to me. It's actually something I wanted to write about, because I thought that the contradictions within that were hilarious. I thought that the mental illness that was there was hilarious in that way, because I thought, how hypocritical have you been to tell me that I'm the one that is mentally ill because of my classifications, yet I don't act out, yet I don't steal from others, yet I don't sit there and manipulate others into perceiving, oh no, that the food was for all of us. I understand to a certain extent. I made the cookies with whatever materials were here in my mother's home. He said he didn't want any, and all of a sudden about 6 of them that were in the bottom of a tub were just gone, because he gets so heightened, and then he doesn't remember that he does these things because of whatever additives are in his body. And I just can't say anything. Crushing and snorting pills is normal for them. Drinking alcohol every night, that's normal for them. That's normal for you as well, because these things are legal. Those are his legal medications that he got from going to getting his collarbone surgically placed again, or whatever, his clavicle. Yet I'm the one that's always constantly reprimanded. Yet I'm the one that always has the problems with everyone else, because I'm not offering anymore. Oh my God, I wonder why I'm not offering anymore. Because you're fucking trash. You people are trash. I don't feel as though I should offer any bit of myself whatsoever, aside from my kind words and my prayers, because you're gonna need them. So, my brother, he just goes in there and he just destroys everything, and he just laughs about it. He'll just make others laugh. Oh, it just happened, it'll just laugh it off. Well, yesterday, my mother and I went to the grocery store, and my mother had asked my brother to move his vehicle. She doesn't ask him for much, mind you, because the moment you ask him for anything, whatever additives are in his system, he freaks out, and he's like, don't ask me to do anything, right? Yet, when I lived here and stayed here, he was the one that was demanding of me and telling me I better take care of my mom's house, I better be cleaning and whatever, and I better do this. Yet he has destroyed my mother's home. He's ripped apart light switches. He's ripped apart the light fixtures, looking for, you people. And he's also been destroying the toilet. He doesn't clean up that restroom, the guest restroom there. Not at all. So, but when I was there, I had to wipe everything down, the sink properly, keep everything nice and prim in that way, and if anything were unkempt in any form, then I would be reprimanded. I would be told, do I want to leave? Is that how it goes? Immediately, that's how they would treat me. I have no idea why people treat me this way. I have no idea why I am so kind and I'm so patient, and I do these loving things out of the kindness of my heart. Yet I get reprimanded constantly. When I offer my words of encouragement, when I offer these words of, I'm not the one hurting the baby. It's all these people that are hurting me and abusing me and keeping me down. The people that are trolling me, the people that are slandering my name, the people that are exposing whatever portions of my reality they feel like I'm ashamed of. I'm not ashamed to say that I wanted to kill this baby. I'm not ashamed at all. Any rape victim would be honest in that form, unless they were seeking it. So there's my honest truths right there. People know. So if it goes to the point where they end up incarcerating me for a while, I will still get out and I will still expose these truths. I do not care. It is on you, people. It is not on me. So even with the fact of like what happens in my daily life, the fact that I get reprimanded, like I was saying prior, my brother was to move his vehicle, and my mother said, we were going to go, we were going to come back. What did he do? He parked his vehicle in a space to where we weren't able to pull the vehicle in. So instead of being conscientious about the things that he does, he's in his own realm because he's so selfish, so self-absorbed. Yet he tells people, I need it this time. Oh, do you need it this time? Is it always just a little bit every day? Is that what it is? You can't refrain from anything. You have no willpower. You have no determination. You have no self-discipline, no moral code, no ethical balance with your cognizance. You have nothing. Is that how it goes? Nobody likes to be reprimanded by me because I tell them the truth. You're crazy. These people in these higher positions, you're mentally ill. You have mental issues, and I wish that we could disclose them for everyone to see so that they can understand exactly what is wrong with you, as opposed to someone like me who is just very calm and passive and goes about their day trying to follow all these rules and regulations that are overbearing and demanding. So, and a lot of times incapable of being, followed because they are too demanding. How am I supposed to regulate myself when I don't have the finances for it? Where am I supposed to get those finances? Working jobs? You want me to work a job? You want me to work a job? Is that what it is? And then what? Huh? You want me to work a job? Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pray on that one. I'm going to go ahead and pray on all the things that I've had to deal with through your authorities, through your men, through your gentlemen, right? And also, too, the fact that I shouldn't have to work. I have been damaged so much psychologically, so much physically, so much sexually, that there is no need for me to work anymore. There is no need. There is absolutely none. If you do not understand that I will not go from paycheck to paycheck anymore in that way, busting my ass, breaking my back, violating my body, my poon, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how incompetent you fools have to be to not recognize where you're going wrong and what you're doing to violate everyone around you. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I can't believe you're that oblivious, that you're that delusional within your own minds to presume that your penises rule. Oh my God, like, are you serious? I just woke up. I've been up since 5:30. It's approximately 7:30 at this time, and I want to strangle that fucking cat. He will not shut up. He just wants cuddles, and then the moment I open the door, he walks away. Of course I'm going to say these random things. Do I really want to strangle him? No. But in one fragment of my mind, I can see it happening. Because when things act all crazy, like the judicials and everything, of course I could see myself strangling the shit and stabbing somebody like that. But I refrain because I know God has it. God has it in his back pocket. God will take care of it. The real God, not whatever falsified version you prayed over and have honored in your senses and pled a vow toward. Because apparently that's a dick-sucking kind of God. And I don't believe in that, and I don't approve of that. Neither would God. So, keep presuming that your words and your, offenses are not adding up, but they are. And at some point you'll need to repent. And that's funny to me. I think it's hilarious because I just sit back. That's why I just tell people, like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want that kind of karma? Are you sure you want that attached to you, that kind of energy? That's why I don't do a whole lot wrong, but then I disclose everything that I do wrong because why not? I have to admit it to my neighbors. I have to admit it to my brothers and sisters in that way. So at least I'm the type of person that alters my ill-mannered behavior as opposed to you individuals. And it's been 6 years since I've seen my daughter, and you haven't forced that person to offer my child back, knowing that it is damaging both the child and the mother psychologically, and it will cause worse problems later on. So instead of family counseling, this is what you did. Instead of family counseling, and it was part of the legal aspect here in Arkansas, that you had to get marriage counseling prior to a divorce, that we never had. We never had. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of things that were violated, including myself, including all of this story, including, you know, just everything. And you think that I have any fears or any qualms of releasing this information to the public? No. That's why I do it freely, so that you can understand. You're fucked. But I salute you for your efforts, and I'll pray for you. And also, like the trolls, like I said, that was really aggravating, having to go and then try to report every single one of them just to know that they're not going to remove them, because it gives me more views. It gives me more people that search for me to search for the truth, which it's hilarious because a lot of these people don't have any teeth, and they don't have any, like, they were obviously drug addicts at some point or another and have really bad mental issues, really psychologically ill. And people actually listen to them and follow them, and that's very sad. It's like this whole regime, this whole army of mentally ill individuals, just sort of, and ill to the point where they're damaging others, ill to the point where they're misguiding and mishandling information and persuading them to believe something that is not true, that is a falsification, a fabrication. I cannot deal with this cat. No, Loki. I swear to God, I'm gonna rip his fucking face off. So, and I say these things because boy, do I feel it sometimes. My rage gets to me, and yeah, I say them. But God knows that energy doesn't actually, it goes out there for the right people, but it doesn't come out back toward me to where I'm actually going to act these things out, because I have to say it aloud. Otherwise, I would strangle the cat right now because I'd get so aggressive. But people don't see that. They don't see autism in that way. They don't see that people need to relieve, to alleviate some of that stress. Oh my Jesus, he just wants me to come back inside is all it is. I'm tired. I don't get much sleep lately. Why? Because of the demands of stupid individuals that are so incompetent that they want to destroy my life. These people that are psychologically ill compared to me. The people that are actually mentally ill. The ones that don't brush their teeth, that have no fucking teeth. The ones that don't wipe their fucking asses and wash their hands. The ones that they go around popping out 20 fucking kids. The ones that are on meth or have been on meth or hard drugs at any form. You know, leave me alone. You have issues. You have issues. If you've done all these hard drugs, I understand that the psychiatric medications acted similarly to these other drugs. So, I'm getting irritated because I can't speak my mind as clearly as I'd like to when there are all these other aspects, everything being pulled. So it's like when mothers and things like that can't control their children, like my mother could never control her children, and so they would be off doing all these things. No wonder she's mentally frail. No wonder she doesn't see that she's psychologically ill in that way, because I've told her for 2-3 weeks now to call her doctor about her seeping stomach hole because they didn't suture it properly after they did the surgery. So she has a gaping wound inside of her belly button that you can see flesh, you can see organ in that, you know, like inner part of the skin. And I told her, I said, oh, that doesn't seem right. Maybe you should contact your doctor. Has she done it? No. Does she worry about herself at all? Do I tell her periodically throughout the day and then she just ignores me? Yeah. No one cares about my words. Nobody cares that I'm trying to help them. Nobody cares that I'm trying to alter them in a positive way, or try to give them some positive feedback, or to try to encourage them to do better. They see it as me being so proud that I ended up, oh, who are you? Someone that lost 150 pounds naturally. In a very short amount of time, mind you. Approximately 2 years. And you're going to tell me that I don't know better? You're going to tell me, I went to parochial school, I went to private school. I know a lot of these big words are too much for you to handle. Some of you incompetent fools. But you imbeciles that don't know anything about, descriptions or dictionaries or thesauruses or actually putting in effort toward education. I get that. You're incompetent fools. And that's the same thing with all of these trolls and everything. People are swayed into believing their perception because they've been misguided. And so instead of removing these issues from the public, you want people to engage with it as if you want them to follow this stupidity. And I don't mind. It's hilarious for me to look back at, because I think the same thing about the politicians and the authorities. Because you're all incompetent. You're swaying people into believing nonsense, and you're swaying people into believing things that are going to be detrimental in the long run. So, like the whole abortion aspect and making it illegal, as if it's the issue. No, you know what the real issue is? The men that go around raping other women, like raping women, that already have families, that already have their fucking lives put together, yet they get away with fucking random girls because they had an urge. I'm sorry, no. That's why I refrained from meeting a lot of these assholes. Jason told me I would be safe. I get very tired. I had been tired because even the days prior, I told you I didn't sleep at all. I got to Thomas's house approximately 10 p.m. I stayed up until 5 in the morning dealing with that asshole, Thomas. So I was exhausted beyond reason. That's why he managed to get into me without me even fucking noticing or flinching. So that's sad that you wouldn't even perceive that as a rightful, like, it's proof. It's documented proof. What is wrong with you? I didn't ask for this baby. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't seek this out. Yet all of a sudden, I'm supposed to be the voice of reason when everybody else is acting deranged? And yet I'm the one with classifications that stipulate that I'm crazy? Excuse me, what? I should be a psychologist. I should be somebody that's there to help others, because I've lived through it, and I know when people make you out to be like you're crazy, and all of this slander, all of these things that are manipulations towards your reality. I get that. Believe me. And so I wish I could do something to help the world, but instead I just make these videos and I try to avoid everyone, because the more I interact with individuals, the more they want to steal from my reality. The more that I would even engage with some of these individuals that would try to tell me these kind words for a moment. I knew you were making stupid videos about me. Don't act like I care what you have to say when you're fake. And you have you've got two faces. You put up a facade for everyone to presume that you're doing right by me, or you take little excerpts of our conversations and you try to post it publicly. I know who I am, and God knows who I am. And the authorities know who I truly am. Now. So, I would be saying my prayers, regulating myself as best I can if I were you people, and I would monitor what I say about others, because it all comes back tenfold. And it's not me using witchcraft. It's not considered witchcraft. It's using the words of the Bible and shoving them back in your face. Using the words that you were educated on and shoving them back in your face so that you can mirror them. So you can stop deflecting your issues on everyone else. So that you can recognize where you're going wrong, instead of forcing your reality on everyone else, presuming you know why they did that. You know why they're doing drugs. Maybe you didn't know why. Maybe it's because of all their childhood abuse. Maybe there's an issue behind that, and you should get them actual proper help instead of forcing them to be in a system, a criminal system that makes them look like they're the issue. when in actuality it's you that's the issue, because you didn't tend to them, because the officials are supposed to be our guided mothers and fathers. Those officials are supposed to be there to serve and protect us. They're supposed to be there like a fathering figure, like a mothering figure, and that makes no sense. Now, I understand my brother should probably get reprimanded a little bit harsher than he has been, because he's not learning his lessons. He's still stealing from others. He's still doing these backhanded, shady things. He's still communicating with people that he shouldn't be communicating with. I get that. And I even explained to him, I said, if you make proper attempts to better yourself, what has he been doing? Drinking every night. And what do? Avoid him. What do? I create food, and then he told me, I told him about the spaghetti that I made. And I was like, okay, well, there's extra in the fridge. And what did he do? He just ate out of the tub and left his fork in there. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that big tub was all yours after I disclosed that we were sharing it. So, of course, and then he gets freaked out too, and looking and watching us as if we're tainting the food, or we're injecting it with something, or, our filthy hands, or... I'm sorry, what? I'm the only one I see washing underneath my fingernails. I'm pretty sure of my family I have the cleanest hands out of all of us. Just saying, but not saying. So, but yeah, and I reference all of this stuff because this is what's going on in my daily life. This is what's going on. I had a dream about my ex-husband, and we were making love. It was just him and I. We were younger in that way, but I still actually, no, I guess not younger. I guess we were just how we are, but I was pregnant with this child. And then we started making love with my ex-husband and I think that would be the only thing that would be okay in God's perspective, is somebody that I had been with prior, engaging with this, fornicating while this child is inside of me. But I really always wanted a husband. I wanted that one partner that would be there sustainably, that would understand that I just had issues that I had to work through. Sometimes I say things, but I do the opposite of it, because I realize that by saying it, I'm clarifying what the worst possible scenario could be. So, but people don't see that as therapy. They see that as crazy. And in actuality, you not disclosing it, that's crazy. You not speaking up about your issues and your mental instabilities, that's crazy. That causes you to have all this subconscious, like I said, deflection. So when your conscience is eating away at you and you're just like, blah, 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 and then you snap on someone else for something completely random because you're thinking about something you did wrong a million years ago. Not a million years ago, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just generalizing. So yeah, I did it in the dream with my ex-husband. I woke up pleasant, though. I wasn't too aggressive. I just couldn't go back to bed, so here we are. And, I just can't believe some people. Honestly, these are not threats. These are your conscience getting back to you. The words that spew out of my mouth are not threats. There's something that could happen if you don't regulate yourselves and don't foresee what the outcome could be. Why are you not seeing that? I could have used those guns and killed everybody. I could have. I sat on them for 2 fucking years. 2 loaded guns. My ex-husband left with me that were his fucking grandfather's. And then you're gonna blame me as if I'm the one that sought that out? No, that's not right. You did wrong by me. You gave me a criminal record. This should be expunged. And you know it. Because I didn't do that shit. But I don't have the money. I don't have the moolah. I don't have the dollar bills, y'all, to sit there and throw at the fucking system so that they can clean up their act. Because it sure as fuck wasn't my act. It sure as fuck wasn't me. I'm a little dramatic. No, I wasn't acting. These are all thoughts that go on in my fucking head, that go on in other people's heads too, and one day they fucking snap. Because you weren't listening the fucking first time. How many times do I have to fucking ask you to take out the goddamn trash, bitch? So, yeah. Then we just snap. And then they're like, well, I don't know where this is coming from. Bitch, you fucking know. Open your goddamn eyes. Know where this is coming from. And it was because you fucked me in my sleep. That's why. That's where all this is coming from. Because I couldn't just be you can't just leave well enough alone, can you? Just let me be, let me travel, let me go off and gallivant, and I wasn't even fucking anybody, I was just eating free meals and getting dressed up nicely. And what's the problem with that? You thought that I was stealing the US government's money to survive? No, bitch, I need some lavish things now. I need some fucking nice food and some fancy shit because I can't even fucking deal. I can't even fucking deal. You stole from me. You stole babies from me. And then I'm just like, what? That came out of my goddamn body. That came out of my living corpse. And you're gonna tell me that I don't own that, but you can own me? Whoa. I'm fucked up right now. You people are fucking crazy, and you'll get your just rewards. For real. That's all I can say. It's like, yeah, spare me your judgments. For real. Because I already know you've done plenty wrong in your lives, and that's why I have no fear of death either. That's why I have no fear of speaking out, utilizing my freedom of speech to disclose everything that everybody has done toward me and the violations that have happened toward me and the things that were unconstitutional, like that bailiff ripping my baby out of my arms like that. Unconstitutional. All I said was, okay, he should have understood. But he didn't, because he's from the South and he was uneducated. And so that's why you put these people in these positions. You don't realize where their headspace is. They're going around enforcing their will with their gun on their fucking hip. And they're the ones that need fucking psychological training and psychological manipulation for a while so they know what it feels like. So then they can get physically violated as well. Because you violated a majority of my constitutional rights within the time frame of me living here in the South and even in the North. I mean, the fact that they lied to me, the fact that I couldn't file when I was 18 against my father and everything. Violation. Complete violations. Complete ignorance toward my need for justice, true justice, God's justice. But no, nobody saw that, and everybody was like, no, she's just faking it. She just takes the words of God and she just uses them against people. No, I live the words of God. There's a huge difference. I'm not a hypocrite. I live the words of God. I know better than to go and take more. I know better than to sit there and spend a bunch of money on things I don't need, you know, and there's a bunch of stuff too, like the couponing and everything. I just figured it was fun for the time being. I wasn't trying to take from anyone. But then, yes, I stole from a few stores, and you knew, you caught on, you knew, and people said stuff to you, and yet you couldn't catch me in the act because you had to have video of it. You had to have proof and eyewitnesses. And you think I didn't know? You think I didn't know I didn't recognize faces after a while of certain ones that would come around, certain ones that are in your systems, the license plates and how certain things add up, all these things, certain faces, certain people. And then all of a sudden people are telling me, we've met before, blah, blah, blah. Was I on a bunch of psych meds? Because I don't remember that shit. And also it takes years for that shit to cleanse out of your system. So I was fucked up for a while. I'm actually glad I went and traveled for that time, because it gave me an opportunity to open my, open my horizons, to expand my horizons, to be able to acknowledge the things that are going on behind the scenes as well. And I've met some interesting characters throughout my travels here and there. And I'm very grateful to that, because I know God does take care of me. The true God actually is the one that takes care of me, which is so weird because I should be dead right now. I should be dead numerous times right now. And yet I'm still here so that I can help others, so that my words can actually reflect on those, that need to hear it, that they can, they can sit there and introspect about the things that I have to say, because you know what? That's how we need to work. We have to work with one another instead of you robbing everybody so that you can sit on your throne. That's not fair, is it? What is it like if your children had to go through the impoverished conditions that everyone else has, the uneducated conditions? What if it were your children? What if? Yet everybody looks at me like, well, you're not a child. Well, yeah, technically I am. Technically, my first suicide attempt at the age of 12, that's why I had this demeanor. This is why I interact in the way that I do. That's why I laugh in your faces, because you're hilarious. Try to violate me. You know where I've been and back. Fuck you. You know I don't care. You know I don't care about this corpse half the time, and that's why I slice it up myself, because it's an offering to God. It's an offering because these people aren't playing fair. These people around me, the people that are said to love and care for me, they are not playing fair. So maybe destroy myself, and then God and everyone else can see how fucked up you are psychologically. So yeah. Pew pew. Pew pew. You'll get your just rewards. And Leticia doesn't have to do shit but sing and dance and praise God. That's so funny, but so true. So true. So anyway, I don't really want to go on for another 11 minutes. Sometimes I try to stop it at the 111 when I see it, but it's been 1 minute or 1 hour, and that's what I meant, an hour. And I'm getting tired of having to preach like this, because nobody believes the words of a woman anyway. Nobody believes the words of somebody that's been this traumatized. Nobody believes the words of somebody with a criminal record. Nobody believes the words of someone with a psychological record. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go. Let's see how much I can offend each one of you. Knowing exactly what you do in the shadows, knowing exactly what is wrong with you psychologically. That's why people don't like making eye contact with me, because I will draw out what is the worst part of you, and I'll spit it in your face, just like I did with my own father. You want to ask him that I physically spit in his face one day? Because that's how it's about that's about how it's going. And somebody made a video biting the hand that feeds me in the affidavit. You think that I give a shit? No. You think God gives a shit? Yes. Because I've been violated. You think that my words don't exist and that my hatred toward the government now... I despise most of the government officials now because they've allowed this to happen to me, and it wasn't fair. It was not fair. And why should I have to despise them? I don't actually... Either way, I'm very apathetic to everything. I have nothing either way. I should just stay in the middle in my balance, because I love you and hate you. If I bite you and you're feeding me, I'm sorry. Oops. Like, you should have known better. You shouldn't have stuck your fucking hand in my cage and tried to rape me. So, and steal from me. So, that's how it goes too. We're all in our little cages. We're all in our little realms that they're trying to manipulate and control. Why do you think they know exactly? And that's why I used my GPS everywhere I went. Sometimes I would GPS places and then go the opposite place. And they would know, like, oh shit, what's she on right now? What type of shit she gonna do? Well, I already know that everything's tracked and traced in my vehicle because it's super electronic. I mean, it's got the push start and everything. So, yeah, I'm not stupid. If I had to deal with these things on my own, with my own hands, and get my fingers tainted in that way, I would do things a little bit more manipulatively. I wouldn't disclose it for everyone to see and hear. But then again, too, you understand that some things, the mechanics in certain things, can't be traced still yet because they're from the older generations. So I could get by if I ended up stealing things from others or utilizing other people's vehicles and phones, and then I would be able to use maps as well, because now I've driven through certain areas and I know exactly where certain things are, so I've familiarized myself with certain areas for a reason. Interesting. You're funny. You're also funny. Like, I could be a crazy psychopath. I could be a fucking serial killer. Yet, I choose not to be. I choose not to be like you, those officials. I choose not to harm others because I know the consequences overall. But I definitely could. We all know it. We all know I could have contaminated their water at some point or done something to inject something into their homes and noxious fumes, something here and there, that would have killed them all. Chemistry, man. It's just chemistry. It's the world around us and how our bodies interact and the biological makeup. Yeah. So we all know I'm crazy, but how crazy do you want to see? How much do you want to see of Leticia to where you just don't want to give back her shit? And you don't want to give back the things that she needs in order to survive? Because even right now, I have the bare basics right now. I've got someplace safe, okay? I've got some food. I've got fresh water. I've been bathed and everything like that. Yet, I don't have the things that I want. There's plenty of things that I want. So, that would be nice for a little while, so then I can give it in exchange. There's a FedEx truck out in front of the house. What did my mom get? Maybe it's for the neighbors. Oh well. So, it might be that car part my mom sent for. Good morning.
Working good, does?
Yep.
This is the right door?
Yep.
Have a great day, ma'am.
You too, thank you. And that's why I don't give a shit about giving my exact locations either. Because I don't give a fuck if you steal the fucking comforts that I have for a moment. Because they do it every fucking few days anyway, so why not? Why become accustomed to something that is going to be ripped away from me, like having my daughter for 3.5 years, and now all of a sudden I haven't seen her in 6. Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm used to people playing, what's that? Playing dirty. Foul play. Playing foully. Wait, is that even? No, that's not right. Playing in a foul manner. So yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Today's Friday, so I hope that, and I pray that everybody ends up safe and has plenty of food and water and is getting off of their drugs and is getting off of their alcohol abuse and is stopping it from abusing themselves as well as others because they don't realize how tainted their chemistry is. So please, detox. Please do some detox, please, so that you can end up less psychologically ill, mentally ill. Because that's all I see about all these trolls and everything. I couldn't believe how many videos there were. I was like, man, you guys are obsessed. You're so jealous. And that's exactly what it boils down to, is jealousy toward me getting any type of attention toward the facts. And the fact that I am a genuine human being and I'm not going around hurting others, it's you. So you're jealous that you live a really disgusting life, that you're a disgusting human being. You're jealous that there are good people out there that get recognition for doing right and you get recognition for doing wrong, and that's the difference. That's why you act up more. That's why you do these things more, because you're sick and you don't know you're sick, and that's sad. That's like my brother when I try to argue with him and stuff, and then I just stop. I'm like, I know better. I said one word and he got heightened to the point of that video. And my mom even thinks that it was her that removed it from there. If they can't remove the videos that are slandering me and abusive toward me and my child, because all they're the ones, you know, everything, all the abuse that happens, that's what is directed toward my child. You are causing me to harm my child through all of the cortisol released from the stress. You're the ones that end up having me acting out. I don't eat, I don't sleep, I don't brush my teeth. You're the ones hurting my child, not anyone else. Because if it were just Leticia, she would find all the things in the world to just be happy about. And we all know, because her name translates to joy. She will always find joy in something, in everything. That's why I didn't have such a huge problem with being incarcerated either in those times, because I found things to do. And there was so much love there too for me, because God always seeks it out for me. God wouldn't let me just suffer. Why do you think that I talk shit, but you don't see the moments where it's like, in between those moments, I'm super happy. I'm super okay. And that's why everyone thinks, oh, she's fine. Not necessarily. Like, you need to look at the whole picture. You need to stop looking at fragments of excerpts of things. Like, it's not okay to manipulate others into perceiving something that doesn't exist. So neither am I fine, neither am I not fine. You know? Like, I'm just sort of in between. And that's how it should be for every individual. It really should be. Because we don't disclose when we're not fine, and then it blows up, and then we end up killing everyone. It's happened. It's happened. So, yeah, that's why I believe in therapy. That's why I believe in talking these things out. That's why I believe that, you know, it's all about psychology. It's about learning about what is in our own minds. Going within and realizing What is that godly space? What is that space? Is it good or bad? Is it both? It just is. It just is. Neither good or bad. It just is. So people don't even recognize that. They're like, well, every thought within itself is neither good nor bad. It just is. And that's how things come to revolve. That's just how the world works, you know? Everything is cyclical in that way. So, and everything happens for a reason and for a purpose, for a grander purpose. So that's why my affidavit was written so well within such a short time frame, because that's all what's in my brain. There's so much in my brain, and people want to pick and prod, but then they know they won't get the information that they want if I'm dead. If this shit gets even worse. And then I'll just shut down. I shut down my mechanism. I don't play anymore. When people hurt me too much, I just shut down. And then you don't get the answers you're seeking. You don't get the responses you're seeking, the assistance, or even my heightened aggression. And it's like, that heightened aggression lasts for moments, but then the rest of my day, I try to balance it out. And it takes a lot of positive in order to balance out those negative moments. Anyway, I gotta get off here. July 15th, 2022. Leticia Collins Servin. Love you. Bye-bye.